Day 71! Yippee! Okay. So we still have our scepter. And we still have the blessing of the king, of course. We still get our allowance. Each time you dig in a room, unlock all doors in that room. We've never been in the kennel. Let's... There's puppies! Oh my goodness. We have some prized beagles here. C-A-P. Cat? Just looking to see if I'm missing some sort of puzzle. Next to the note with the cat, we can sometimes find items. We did not. Oh, this is part of the castle cipher. I see. Okay. Not terribly useful or exciting, but it exists. The commissary is a good one. Metal detector, shovel, sleeping mask. Well, we take the shovel, because effectively this just becomes more keys in our hands. Because it is unlock all doors in that room. Plus we get a turnip. You love a good turnip. Very hearty root vegetable. I don't cook with them as often as I should, mainly because it's just such a pain to cook a root vegetable sometimes. Okay. Nothing I can craft with just yet. Well, I could, I don't want to. Let's do the hall closet. Let's see if we can't get an ivory dye. We got the rabbit's foot, though. That, I think, has a good chance of helping us out here. So, I believe what we need to do then check my email and realize that it's not important. Well, Courtyard does get us a gain, right? Of 2 gems. Did we not buy a sledgehammer? Was that not an option? Ooh, tricky. Okay. But do the den. We can do some digging. And you mangy mutt, because we've added the kennel, we will now just hear dogs barking. I do hope that there is some mechanism for automatically feeding those dogs, because I have not been doing it for 70 days. And we're not going to think about it. Okay, so we got another key. To the veranda. Gets us one of these. And gets us a greater chance of finding items in green rooms. We'll do the observatory. Probably because there's just a good chance that we're gonna get things. Borealis is nice. The Farmer's Apple is good. Diamondus Minor is fine, and the Slice is pretty solid. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do, besides digging, is I think I'm gonna open these chests. And that's what I needed. 2 ivory dice is enough for us to get the shrine. I'm gonna take this key and I'm gonna unlock this box, which gets money. I'm not undervaluing money here. Let's see, so the monk blessings require specific amounts of gold. We won't get into it, but 45, 61, or 77 are our good points here. So we'll go ahead and... Well, no, hold on a minute. What are you beeping at? This? A microchip? I suppose, but not what I would consider under your purview. It's part of a different department, if you will. But, well, okay, we'll just take these. At some point, we will make our way back over, and I will deposit them where they belong. But we will re-roll to get the shrine. And we will... we will suffer a little bit as we put our 45 gold in here. But the monk is needed. The monk is necessary to kind of keep our chain going here. And if we get a sledgehammer, I have learned that we may need to break into you. And since we're out here and it only burns 2 additional steps, let's just deposit those microchips so that they aren't distracting going forward. You know, I was meaning to go watch the new Silent Hill movie that was coming out. Yeah, by the time you're watching this, who knows how long ago, but for me, that was just this past weekend. I didn't get around to it because the weather was not permitting. And the showtimes were abysmal. I don't know what's going on. It's so hard to go see interesting movies. By the time that this comes out, I will have probably watched it and have probably succumbed to the peer pressure of finding it not the best movie after having played Silent Hill 2. But you know, there's something about the zeitgeist of getting to see it as it's current, as it's new, as it's modern affairs, that I can't help but be a little saddened. But who knows, maybe I'll get around to it this next weekend. But until then, you know, it's just sort of wishing in one hand and reality and life's ways in the other. Okay, so get these, and of course on the day that apples are delicious, you give me an orange. You grant me a fruit, but you do not grant it the rank of master. But we do have the sleeping mask. That pays off a little bit. This one... I'm gonna go boiler room here, not because I think it's the right call, but because we gotta get out of the middle here, I think. Now, what I need before I continue is I need a gem, Because right now I have a greater chance of finding items in the green rooms. But green rooms almost always cost at least 1 gem. Take the dining room, though. We'll take our lunchbox to go, please and thank you. And we'll just kind of rattle and ramble and rave, you know? Okay, so if we go over here, go through this door, we can get the spare bedroom, although that does not give us a lot of options. And the parlor puts everything then on this one opening here in the hallway. And I must say, I'm not a huge fan of that. So what I think I will do then is the spare bedroom. We have a greater chance of finding items, which we do find items. Fairly tricky here. And judging by our inventory, we bought out the commissary, so I don't need to go back there and relitigate it, but we are kind of in a tough spot here. So I think before I go any further, I'm going to come down here because there should be at least one dig spot, I think. No digging in the basement. That's fair. I disagree, that's your prerogative, but I think it's unfair. And we can get the terrace. Yes, I think we do that. Because there will be gems here. And we're gonna go with a nice garden house today. I think then I'm gonna come over here. And we're going to exploit this. We're gonna open some green rooms, I feel. Hopefully. Or at least, you know, rooms that open up in a similar direction. And then... magnifying glass. And the key. And what puzzle do we have today? The gems are in the black box, the gems are in the white box. This must be false. This statement is true, the above statement is false. So this one is false. This is not an empty box. The gems are not in the black box. And it's you. Yep. They don't even have to think about that one. And now we can proc the Black King because we have made it to the outer wall. And we are now more likely to get all sorts of rooms. Made it here. Get the battery pack. And the key. And a gem. And we will dig. Partly as a precaution. To unlock the door. And then we'll take the aquarium. Because it's every color. Take that. And we dig. So that door is unlocked. And then we do have the throne room. Which is good. We need the throne room. Why do we need the throne room? Because the throne room helps us get to parts of our equation. The other thing that we will need to find is a sledgehammer. And I have not seen one yet. That doesn't mean it's not out there, I just haven't seen it. Treasure trove, security. I think we're kind of at the limits of what money is going to get us here. At least for now. But if we view our inventory, we do have 2 trunks. Somewhere. set the security level to low. Change the offline mode to unlocked. And then we will attempt to find ourselves the security key card. And until we do, we're not going in that direction. Alrighty then. You drive a hard bargain, but I accept. Oh. The kitchen is fine. However, maybe we take the club sandwich. I think I have to take the archives. Oh, and you've dead-ended me a second time. Interesting. Also interesting is the presence of another trunk. I only recall seeing one trunk, which is the one that's in the shrine. Can't go that way. So, until I open wherever this other trunk is, we are essentially dead-ended. But let us take a gander at what we can find. Because you never know when you might be surprised by what was hiding in plain sight. I say somewhat cryptically, there's no trunk in here. I have a den somewhere, perhaps? I do have a den, so it might be in the den. It was in the den. Now, the odds that this has security cards seem awfully low. And with that, we may be at an impasse. I don't think I can go any further. But I can do something somewhat interesting. No, I can't. I was going to say that I could leave in the... Or that I could rather end the day in the throne room, but I cannot do that because that will lose me the scepter, which I will then have to reclaim, and I would like to not reclaim it. So I think that what I will do instead is end my day here in the security room, and since it is day 71, I will see you all on day 72. Perhaps. This seems like it was a rather short one. And we will... I'm going to go get a drink, bathroom, all that good stuff, and then we'll do day 72. Bye-bye.